Did you see the new lineup of Star Wars movies?
I have no clue.
Yeah. So apparently they're releasing. I have to do more research because I only saw like a little bit of it.
I'm guessing they canceled more movies because they already announced.
I don't know. So I don't know that much about the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, I know they announced because they had a Star Wars like conference or something.
Was it? I think it was Celebration.
Yeah, something like that.
They have like whole like fan con things every so often.
But yeah, so they introduced like a new slate of movies. I know that not David Filoni. What's the other one? The one that helped with the Iron Man.
Favreau.
Yeah,
I thought no Filoni. I saw this. Filoni is he's directing a movie.
So
he's directing like the movie that kind of brings all of.
Okay, so it is him.
Brings like the whole Mandalorian verse shit that they've done so far together.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of excited for that. It sounds like they're trying to do it right.
Even though apparently this season of Mandalorian hasn't been this well received.
I think it's just like because I've heard it was good, but not a lot of people just watched it at all.
Well, I think it's probably because I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting for it to all come out because I need to catch up on all that shit. But from what I understand, it's just more of the same, where it's like the episodic thing, where it's just like every episode is kind of like an individual story that kind of builds towards something.
Yeah.
And I think people are kind of just like, okay, we've had 2 seasons of this.
Yeah.
And we already had our high point of like, oh, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So then now it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do to top that? Oh, we're just going this kind of a similar thing.
I think people, even the fans, like of like comic book type movies, like Star Wars, Marvel, whatever, DC, everyone is kind of getting tired of like the generic template, and we want like more creativity. And I think that's what's starting to happen. Like the interest for a lot of these movies are going down unless it's like something we're really interested in. Like we know it's going to be like creative, funny, like Deadpool or like movies like that. Like Multiverse of Madness was like a big hype because
people thought it was going to be crazy, and then it wasn't.
Exactly. And so like I think people are that if they don't even like Ant-Man, like people were kind of excited for that because it's like, oh, they're going to multiverse. Jonathan Majors gonna be crazy, and then you find out it's kind of just more of the generic template a little bit. I think people are kind of like getting like kind of fed up with that.
Oh, I've been fed up.
Yeah. So hopefully they do. Like you can tell even with this Mandalorian season, I heard it was like worse than Andor. Like
well, Andor apparently people are saying it's like HBO quality.
Well, not worse like quality, but like the analytics. People watching.
Oh, you're talking about like actual views and shit.
Yeah. I heard it's like I don't know if it's worse than Andor, but I heard it was like on the same like as what's that one other Star Wars series?
Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, I heard it was like that.
Well, no, Book of Boba Fett had really great numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
People didn't like it, but it had massive numbers.
Oh. Well, yeah, I heard it's not doing that well with numbers.
It may be like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, that's what it was. Yeah. Obi-Wan. Which is like sucks because Mandalorian was the one that popped it off.
I know.
And it's my favorite. I like the Mandalorian the best out of all of them. But yeah, it just sucks. Like, I don't know, people are starting to be less interested in stuff unless start being creative and start.
Well, I think the Mandalorian had the benefit of like the first live action Star Wars series. Yeah. And then now they've had like 6 of them.
Yeah.
With various qualities.
Yeah. They also released the trailer for Ahsoka.
I haven't seen it yet.
It looks great. It looks like something. It's funny because I feel like there's a split fan base with these comic book. They're either like they want more like grounded stuff like America's Captain America Civil War, stuff like that. And I think that's what Ahsoka is kind of bringing, like the grounded Star Wars, kind of the what is Jedi based off of? Like the ninja, or like they supposed to be like ninjas.
You mean samurai?
Yeah, samurais. So it's kind of like a samurai.
Kenobi's a completely different thing, bro.
Yeah. So like it's kind of like a samurai. I'm going to watch it. I think it looks pretty good, the trailer. And I like the episode of Ahsoka when she came into Mandalorian. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, I love that episode.
Yeah, one of my favorite episodes. So I'm excited for that.
Kurosawa.
Yeah. And they give you hints of like the fighting style and all that. It looks great. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to be excited for.
I still rather have seen that story told through animation. Because it's supposed to be like basically the follow-up to the Rebels.
Yeah.
Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah. I saw something. Is it the follow-up or is it like
It's the fall. It's
Follow
like
up?
the continuation of
Okay,
that story
okay.
years later.
Okay, it makes sense because I saw something where, because I haven't seen the Rebels, but I did see somewhere where they're like, yeah, they're recreating the ending of the Rebel scene.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be like the beginning of the
Yeah,
series.
it's picking off because there's like a time jump for like the last part.
Yeah.
Where it's like the ending happens before episode 4, and then there's like a time jump to after episode 6.
Hmm.
So I think they're just picking up after episode 6.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be, unless it's not another generic template, and if it's like actual great story and like creative and cool fighting and stuff, it can be pretty successful.
I just find it interesting. With that series specifically, I remember seeing Dave Filoni say somewhere where he found it interesting that almost everyone who worked on that cast were kids that were fans of the Clone Wars series.
That's cool.
I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's a good thing. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's also cool because